This is a bullet from Des Horn. It's a folding knife made from Nitrobe 77, which is a powdered metallurgy, high nitrogen martensitic stainless steel. Has almost all the buzzwords you could possibly want in a knife. I put this here just as something for you to look at while I make a few comments about blade steels. I picked this knife in general because a comment someone made a few days ago, which I found rather amusing, where they asked me, do I actually own any knives that don't look like they came from a junkyard? And yeah, I do. I actually even have some sort of presentation or art grade knives, but I also do enjoy owning, carrying, and using some rather basic knives as well. The purpose of this knife is I want to talk about a page that I put together a while ago on blade materials. I started this because there's an issue in the cutlery industry where a lot of what people talk about is marketing or promotional materials. And that's not always the most sensible thing to try to use as a reference because it comes from the people who are selling the materials. So what I started looking for was actual materials data, unbiased performance commentary about steels. So I was looking at the patents for steels. I was looking into materials journals. What's written in industry and commercial about these steels, and I started putting pages together. Now over the years I've let it fall out of date. I've started now to put it back together, clean up the web page, get rid of the broken links, and start adding in some of the information and the references that I've gained over the years. If you want to see where I intend the page to be, what the goal is, look at the section on 1084 steel, which I just revised a couple of days ago. Now, what I want and the purpose of making this video is, if you do have any useful information, if you have links to patents on steels, if you have links to peer-reviewed articles, post them down in the comment box so I can review them and then add them into that page. Again, so the purpose of this is to provide a reference where people can actually go if they want to know how these steels actually compare to each other and have actual relative material data, not hearsay and manufacturing or promotional data. Now as well, if you do have any links to where people are actually doing performance testing on knives and steels, and this is the critical part, those people have to be willing to have a discussion about the methods that they use, the influences that it could have on the outcomes, the conclusions that they drew, are they valid, and actually be open to having that discussion and interpreting it. If they're not, I have no interest in their work because it's not done in a way that's going to be productive. But if you do have some links and you do know people who are doing that work and want to have a conversation and discussion about it, by all means put a link and I can add that in as well. And hopefully over time this page will become a decent reference and it will evolve into something that can be used as a functional tool to learn about blade steels and cutlery in an actual quantitative, meaningful sense. And this is a relatively decent knife.